Welcome everybody to session number 20. I can't believe there's been 19 of these already and we're on number 20. I feel like just a few weeks ago we were starting and looking for our product. So it's amazing how fast this stuff's gone. But if this is your first one, I would encourage you to go back and watch some of the earlier ones because we're kind of building on them a little bit. And B, tonight or today, wherever you're at in the world, we're going to be going over some stuff that's like a little bit more advanced tactics. So we're going to be covering Amazon AMS, which is Amazon Marketing Services. This is like a little bit more of like an advanced tactic, ways to get extra sales. It's not required by any means to be successful on Amazon, but we wanted to give you guys really, throughout this whole case study, a really like in-depth guide for everything that you can be doing on Amazon, sharing what we're doing with our Jungle Snugs product. I thought it's only a play. So, like I said, episode number 20, and we are going to be covering AMS. All right. But before we get started on that, I'm just going to give you guys a quick update. I'm sure everyone would like to really see now if I got this right. The dotted line here is 10 units per day. This one right here. And the line above it, this was a screenshot I took, like I said, a few hours ago off Seller Central yesterday with this nice big spike, 43 units. But even the day before, I think we sold 35. Today, we had already sold 15 as of 4 hours ago. So we'll probably sell 25, maybe even 30 units today. So it's going very well. And, that's pretty amazing. I think 687 units in 4 or 5 weeks. So it's going well. If you've been following along with the case study, you know that every week we do a giveaway. So Vadim, and Sean were the winners of our Jungle Scout t-shirts this week. I'm not going to read these to you guys, but I encourage you to do so because they're very inspirational and it's very fun to hear all these people's stories who are following along with the case study. And Taylor won the Jungle Scout Lite extension. So if you're one of these winners, Amelia from our team is going to reach out to you guys so we can make sure to get you hooked up with your prizes. And if you would like to be eligible to win some of these prizes, I would encourage you to go to junglescout.com/giveaway. You can follow the instructions there. It's super simple. You do a couple little things and then you're eligible for these prizes. Even if you're watching a replay for this, we are going to be giving away prizes every week for all of 2017. So don't ever feel like it's too late to enter. As long as it's still 2017, you're still eligible for these prizes. Because like I said, we're choosing winners every single week for the rest of 2017. So what are we going to cover tonight? We're going to be talking about Amazon Marketing Services, or they call it AMS for short. So, I was putting together all this content. I was kind of like going through my notes. And I realized this is quite a bit of information to be covering in 1 hour sessions. We normally like to keep these webinars about an hour or so. So I'm going to split this up into 2 parts. So this week and next week, we're going to be talking about AMS. This week, we're going to be talking about how to get access to it, kind of the basics of AMS. I'm going to be telling you guys about how to set up product display ads, which are one specific type of the ads. And then next week, we'll go over the other type of ad called headline ads. We'll optimize the Jungle Snugs ads and go over a few kind of like hacks or more advanced tactics. If you guys are enjoying the $1 Million Case Study, as you know, we give away all this content for free. I've seen lots and lots of paid courses, and I don't think any of them get even close to how helpful the $1 Million Case Study is. So if you're enjoying it and you'd like to give us a little love in return, we would really appreciate if you could subscribe to our YouTube channel or give us a thumbs up. It would mean the world to us. So that's my one quick pitch. And then I kind of touched on this before we got started, but the information we're going to cover during the next hour, I can imagine some of you are going to be a little bit overwhelmed with it, especially if you haven't placed your order yet. Like if you don't have your first product in yet, okay? So what I mean by that is if you already have your product in and it's going well, then all this is going to be making sense because, like you understand the rest of it. If you haven't chosen your product and placed the order for it, I would encourage you, instead of watching this, just to go back and watch sessions 1 through 8, because I'm a huge fan of like just-in-time learning. So there's no reason to learn about AMS. This stuff isn't that complicated. We'll always have these replays up for you to watch. So if you haven't selected and ordered your product yet, you need to be watching sessions 1 through 8, choosing that product and getting it ordered, and then why it's being manufactured. You'll have plenty of time to come back and look at these, okay? And like I said, AMS, like this is getting like a little bit more advanced stuff. We have never used AMS ads on Jungle Sticks, and they've sold probably close to $300,000 now. They made over $50,000 just in 2016. So it's not mandatory. It's just another tool in our tool chest that we have to help us increase sales. So,
and Greg, if I could just make one little pitch as well, to dig deeper into sessions 1 through 8, you can check out the free resources tab at the top of Jungle Scout, where we go into a lot more detail on any of those topics, whether finding a product, finding a supplier, PPC. So a lot of great resources, and we kind of like organize it nicely there.
That's a great point. I'm sure a lot of people were wondering, wait, where did I get those at? So just go to junglescout.com. At the top, there's a free resource tab, and you can find the $1 million case study. And Gen and Kim and myself have written some really good recaps of everything as well. So if you'd rather read instead of watch the videos, then there's plenty of information for you there as well. So to get access to AMS, AMS isn't inside of the Seller Central platform. It's located somewhere else on Amazon. So to get access to it, you first have to set up a Vendor Express account. And I'm just going to give a quick recap of what Vendor Express is. But Vendor Express was designed, technically what it's supposed to be for are for manufacturers to be able to sell their products to Amazon, and then Amazon sells them on their platform. This is different from FBA, where the seller is the one selling on the platform. It's just shipped or fulfilled by Amazon. Okay. So with Vendor Express, they place a purchase order from you and then they sell it. So this would be good for companies who haven't watched the $1 million case study, have no idea how to sell stuff on Amazon, don't know how to create a listing, even though it's so easy. And, they just want someone in their, some department to be just sending stuff to Amazon and letting them handle it. Okay. So I don't like Vendor Express. I wouldn't encourage you guys to sell your products to Amazon in this route. However, this is where AMS is located. So to get access, you go to vendorexpress.amazon.com. During the sign-up process, they're going to ask you for some things like your bank account and your EIN number and a few things like that. And then if I remember right, you have to submit which product you'd like to sell to them. And then they would give you a purchase order for that product. And they would normally say, hey, like send us in 10 units of that. We'll see how they sell and then go from there. Okay. So we are only going to do that so we can get access to AMS. All right. I'm going to go over which product you should choose in a few minutes. Okay. Or now. So when you sell your product to Amazon, as opposed to using FBA, normally Amazon takes over your listing or takes over listing control. So that's not good, because that means then we can't split test images. That means we can't make changes to our listing whenever we want. We can't take advantage of enhanced brand content, some other things. So instead, we just want to give Amazon one product that's not important to us. And from that, then be able to take advantage of the AMS platform. So what I would recommend, so it needs to be like a branded or a private label product. Okay. You can't just buy like some Doritos and send them that, because they don't want to order those from you. It needs to be like your brand. But what I would recommend is just creating like a sacrificial product or a sacrificial brand and use that to sell to Amazon. So if it was me and I would do this again today, I would just order like 10 fidget spinners off AliExpress. I would put the brand Greg's Fidget Spinners on them. And then I would tell Amazon about those through the sign-up process and sell them 10 or 20 or however many fidget spinners they ask for. Another option you can do if you don't want to go that route, you could create a multi-pack. So I could create a 10-pack of Jungle Snugs. So I'd just bundle 10 Jungle Snugs together. I'd wrap a piece of plastic around them, and I would sell that one to Amazon. So I'm not giving them like my main moneymaker product, but instead I'm just giving them just to satisfy this requirement of getting into Vendor Express, which will then give me access to AMS ads. Once you're inside of Vendor Express, it's pretty easy. You go to the marketing tab, click on create a campaign, click register here. And then at that point, I think there's a couple steps, check a few boxes or whatever, and then you have access to AMS. Once you have access to it, you log in somewhere else. You log in at ams.amazon.com. And then we have this. So that whole process, going through that whole part, is just to get access to this right here, the AMS platform. The reason we want access there is this opens up 2 new types of ads to us. So you can do sponsored products inside of AMS. However, we don't care about that because we have the ability to do that in Seller Central. And actually the reporting in Seller Central is better. So we don't care about sponsored products. I've never gone in there before. What we do care about these other 2 types called headline search and product display, because these are only available through AMS. So today, like I said, I've broken this up. I'm going to break this up into 2 separate sessions. So today we're going to be talking about these product display ads. So I went to one of our competitors' listings today, and I saw this nice little ad down here of our Jungle Snugs product. So this is really nice because, they might be on this guy's listing. They might be getting ready to check out. They see his like $25. Mine's a lot cheaper. Right now it's only $17. But they might be thinking like, hey, like that looks pretty nice. It comes with a washcloth. It's cheaper and has really good reviews. This guy has 4.5-star reviews. This has 5-star reviews. So hopefully we interrupt them during their checkout flow and get them over to our listing instead. And hopefully we convert them after we do that. So this is the primary spot for these product display ads, but depending on what type of computer the customer's on, so maybe they're on a tablet or a cell phone or a desktop, there's lots of different resolutions and stuff. So depending on it, your ads might look differently. These are all like the different types. So the one we were looking at was that style, but on different pages and different areas and stuff, they show some of these other styles. So these are all the different types of product display ads. You'll notice here that only one product is being shown. So that's nice because you only have to have one product to be eligible to show this type of ads. That's different from the headline ads that we'll be going over next week, where you either have to have 3 products or 3 different variations. So with the product display ads, there's 3 types of targeting. And in a few minutes, I'm going to let you guys look over my shoulder, and we're going to do some of these examples together. So don't get overwhelmed, but I first just want to give you guys an overview, and then we'll do these real life examples. So the first type is specific products. And what I mean here is I can upload a list of ASINs into the product display ads and then bid on those respective ASINs, and Amazon will show my ad on there. So I would either probably want to do that for either competitors' products, especially if my product's better than the competitors, which I think it's better than all of them, or like a complementary ASIN works really well. So what I mean by that is, when else would people be interested in buying a hooded baby towel? It's like, I don't know, maybe they're shopping for a bath, like one of those little baths that you bathe kids in, like in the sink. Or maybe they're searching for a bubble bath, like the soap. So these are types of customers, or these are the types of products that I know that probably someone who has a small child would be interested in that type of thing. So that's one type of targeting. The other type of target, or the other 2 are related categories and interests. And I don't even really know why Amazon splits these up, because they're pretty similar, which I'll show you, but they're just a little bit different. So the categories, like some of the ones that we might advertise in are washcloths and towels or bubble bath. Interest, it's almost like it's the same thing. It's just like a little bit different wording. So like baby products or baby feeding. And I'll show this to you guys. So those are the 3 different types of targeting that we can do once we're inside of AMS. So my favorite type of targeting in there is product specific, choosing ASINs. And so I think it's worth talking about and thinking about, how do we decide what types of ASINs to target? Okay. And like I mentioned a little bit, like just a few seconds ago, the 2 good types are either competitors, where we think that someone would be interested in our product instead of theirs. So this is especially true if our product is priced lower than theirs. And then we can also look at competitors' products. We also want to find ASINs that get a lot of traffic. So who cares about that one person selling hooded baby towels that sells less than 5 a month and is lost on page 100, right? It's like that's not going to get very many eyes on my particular ad. So we're going to be looking at products that we think we could get sales from and that hopefully are getting a lot of traffic. So I'm going to show an example of how to do this. I'm going to use Jungle Scout because it makes the process go a lot faster. And I'm well aware that a lot of the people watching this have Jungle Scout, but you can do this manually as well if you weren't using Jungle Scout. So I searched for a hooded baby towel. This ad up here, this is the other type of AMS ad. This is called the headline ad. And that's different than the product display ads that we're talking about now. We'll go over this type of ad next week. So yeah, so this is one of our main keywords. We're up here. We have this sponsored product. We have that sponsored product. And looks like today we're on the 3rd row or so right here. So how I'm going to use Jungle Scout to help me is I'm going to run the extension on this particular page. Okay. I'm actually going to do it like on the first 2 pages. So, it takes, those of you guys familiar, it takes like 5 seconds or so. So I did the first page. I'm going to click this button and it's going to extract the second page. And then once it is done, which it looks like is now, I could probably do this for a few pages, but just for the sake of this example, I'm just going to do 2 pages. I am going to go ahead and export this. So I'm going to save that CSV. I'm going to go into Google Sheets and I'm going to open that CSV file. Open. All right, so now I have here a whole bunch of ASINs as well as other information. So for this particular thing, I don't need these averages, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete these. However, what I do care about is how well are they selling, because that's a great gauge of how much traffic these listings get. I'm also gonna look at what their price is. And also just make sure that I think it's like a relevant product. So a good way to do that is you can select this whole first row and go to data filter. All right. So what I'm going to do is what I would recommend is, at least when starting out, if you want a good starting point, is just to select all the products that are priced lower than yours. So what I can do here is I can go to price. Right now ours is at like 17 bucks. So filter by condition. Less than, we'll say, or sorry, we're looking for a greater than, we'll do greater or equal to $18. All right. So it's going to filter out all of the low price ones. I'm not going to advertise on those right now. And then I can just filter by the largest sellers here. Okay. So all these ones that we have left now, these are all ASINs that are, we can look how many they're selling. I'll probably just do any that are selling more than 100 a month. And all of these, as you can see, are more expensive than our particular product. So this is a good set of ASINs to run these product display ads on, because I found that whenever you're running these on listings that are priced higher than yours, the conversion rate and is higher, so the overall expense will be a little bit lower. Okay, so now we have a group of ASINs here, and these would all be ones that we can target for trying to steal our competitors' sales. We could do that same thing for, let's say, like baby bath. So these type of people right here, and this is going to be obviously different for your particular product, right? If we were doing, if we're running these for our marshmallow sticks, if I was looking for a complementary product, maybe I'd be searching for like fire pit, because it's like, oh, when people are searching for fire pits, they would probably like some marshmallow sticks to go along with it, right? Or if your product is, I don't know, like I always use the glass as an example because it's sitting right next to me. But if someone's ordering a glass, maybe they'd want like a glass drying rack or something, right? So this is just going to depend on your particular product, and just try to think like what type of complementary products would go along with that one. So I could do the same thing here. I could run Jungle Scout here like I did before. I could export it. And then if I'm doing it for complementary products, I'm not as concerned about the price, right? Because I'm not trying to get them to purchase my product instead of the competitors, but instead I want them to purchase it with it. You may still find that higher priced products are better for you, but that would be more so than because like, all right, if this person's buying the most expensive glass drying rack, maybe they're like a little more affluent or have more extra money to be spending. So maybe it's more likely that they'd buy like an add-on product. Okay. So that's how we get a group of ASINs. We're going to go over a few more slides here. And then what I'm going to do is we will then use those ASINs to create some of the examples. Okay. So I need to give you a few more tips here. Unlike sponsored products, AMS does not correct for plurals, stemmings, and misspellings. And this is going to hold true if you're trying to, this is actually more so for like the headline ads that we're not necessarily going over tonight, but this is like a good tip to understand. Unlike sponsored products, AMS doesn't correct for those. So you need to be thinking about that like on the keywords that you upload. I would also encourage you guys to stay organized right from the beginning. And the main thing with that is going to be how you set up your campaigns. And I'll show you some best practices for that. With these product display ads in particular, this is extremely frustrating, but once you set up the campaigns, you can't optimize them on a like per ASIN or per category or per interest level. So I would encourage you guys, even though it's very tedious, to only put one ASIN or category interest per campaign. And I'll show you that in my example. Something else that I kind of figured out right now, we're running split tests on our Jungle Snugs. And with sponsored products, if you change your title or if you change your main image, your sponsored products automatically update as well. With AMS, it's a little bit different. Whatever main image you have when you create those ads, that's going to be the one that is used for the life of that campaign. So just keep that in mind. You can actually use that to your benefit a little bit because you could try two with two different pictures and then run them simultaneously, which is pretty cool. So this is what I would encourage you guys to use for your naming convention because, you know, right now you might just be on your first product, but down the road, you might have a whole bunch of products. Since with product display ads, we're only going to be creating like one ASIN or one interest per campaign. You can get to have quite a few of these campaigns. So I think it's important to stay organized from the beginning. So this is what I use, and this is what I'd encourage you guys to use. So the product name, the ad type, and the identifier. So for us, we'll call this like Snugs. The ad type will either be a competitor's ASIN, so that's like the product specific one, an interest or a category, and then we give an identifier. So I would either put the ASIN in the headline, I would put the interest or the category. So another difference with these product display ads than sponsored ads is with these, we get to write a little bit of sales copy. So as a lot of you know, with sponsored products, it's like the most simple, it's like the simplest ad platform ever. All you do is bid on keywords. You don't put images in there. There's no, like no creatives. There's no sales copy, anything. You just bid on keywords and that's it. Well, with AMS, it's quite a bit cooler because we do get to put a piece of sales copy in there. We also, with the headline ads, get to put an image in there other than our main image for our listings. Okay. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about writing this sales copy and what I found works well and just kind of like some overall like marketing best practices. So this is what Amazon says. Start with a capital letter. Don't use multiple punctuation marks. Anyway, you can read this. And some of these things a computer checks for and they won't even let you submit it. For example, like if you have other capital letters besides the front, besides the first word, it won't let you submit them. Some of these other ones, I think it's a little bit harder for the computers to detect it. So those actually get reviewed by a human. Okay. So this is the guidelines that they give us. However, you can see like there's a lot of room for interpretation in here. So since everyone's products are different, you need to be thinking about what would convince the potential buyer to purchase your product either instead of your competitors or with the product that they're about ready to purchase. So remember, with these product display ads, we're going to be showing these on competitors' listings. So we need to be thinking about like what would change this person's mind. They're probably like they're pretty far down the sales funnel, right? They're getting pretty close to purchasing something. If they're, they've gone to Amazon, they've typed in a keyword, they've clicked on a listing. So they're pretty far down the sales funnel. We need to convince them to be purchasing our product either instead of this competitor's or with this complementary product. So just think about like what unique selling proposition does your particular product have? And like I said, this is different with every product. With our Jungle Snugs, we made ours a little bit larger. So like 35 by 35 inch instead of most of our competitors are like 28 by 28 or 30 by 30 inches. We made ours better quality. It's a little bit thicker. We also bundled a washcloth with it. And if nothing else, I've noticed some people using like the USP of being like the first or the original. You'll sometimes see that in sales copy. Maybe your price is cheaper. And like I said, the product display ads that normally convert the best or are on competitors that are higher price. So if so, you can try to call that out. I'm going to go over that again in a minute. It's pretty difficult, I think, to get it through the review process, but you can give it a try. Or just be thinking about, like if someone's buying my bubble bath, I might say like Jungle Snugs towels are the perfect complement to are perfect for drying off a recently bubbled I don't know. I'd have to play around with this a little bit, but you get the idea, right? So there's some ideas with that. So over the past few weeks, I've submitted probably 20 or 30, maybe even 40 different headlines through Amazon. A lot of them got approved. These are some of the ones that got rejected. So once you submit it, at that point, like I said, a real human reviews these headline ads. So anytime a human's doing that, it's going to be a little bit subjective, right? One person might think this breaks the rules, the other person doesn't. So you can, if you want, just try to submit the same thing multiple times if that's like a headline you love, and you can see if it goes through. It normally takes about 24 hours to get back the whether it was approved or denied. So you can keep that in mind. It is a little bit of a slow process. So these are some of the ones that got rejected. I said like higher quality at a better price. This is the reason they gave me for rejecting it. The headline or product title is not relevant to the product being advertised. I disagree, but anyway, that's what they gave me. Luxury towel at a bargain price. Again, they don't like the price in here, I don't think. The coupon ad has discounts or conditions that are unverifiable on the landing page. I don't know. Maybe if I put bargain price on the detail page to go through, I don't know. But it got rejected. Get a higher rated towel. The reason here, the ad contains references to customer reviews or ratings. Yeah, true. I put amazing value. They gave me the standard not relevant thing. I tried one that said approved by 1,001 moms. The claim made in the ad needs to be substantiated by an independent third-party source. So whatever, they didn't allow that one through. But I did get a whole bunch approved. So I'm not going to read all these to you guys, but feel free to read through them if you want. You can feel free to use these as inspiration for choosing your own headline ads. So yeah, and then next week, we'll be talking a little bit more about which ones of these are performing the best. But just to give you a little teaser, let's see. One of these, like your baby won't stop smiling or your baby won't let you take it off. I think one of these is performing really well right now. There's another one. Let's see. I had one that was either a headliner or one of these product display ads that says like, get the towel that the most moms trust or something like that. And that one seems to be doing pretty well right now. But yeah, like I said, we'll go over kind of the performance of all these next week, and you can see which ones are performing the best. But like I said, these can be used for inspiration, but it's product specific. So these are obviously going to be different depending on your kind of unique selling proposition. So enough slides. Let's get into the real stuff. All right. So pull up. I'm on AMS. So this is their, like I said, this is no longer inside Vendor Express, but what you're looking at here is the Amazon Marketing Services site. And I have a bunch of campaigns running. And to start a new one, we're just going to click on New Campaign. Then we would like to do, remember, we don't care about sponsored products. Headline search we'll be covering next week. So today, we are going to be doing product display. And we'll start off with one of these ASINs. So I'm going to click on product. The first spot that you enter here, this is going to be your particular product. So which one you want to advertise for. So we want to advertise ours. I'm pretty sure it would let you spend money on your competitors or someone else if you wanted, but we don't plan on doing that. I'm going to target specific products. So this is, remember, this is like 2 of the targeting types. Related categories are specific products. This is actually for ASINs. And then this is the third one, the interest one. So we're going to do specific products. We're going to choose one of these from my list. So we'll just choose this ASIN right here. I'm going to paste that in to search for it. And there we go. This is actually one of the top sellers in my particular niche right now. So let's say we want to advertise on their particular listing. This is something very important that I didn't put in the slides, but you want to uncheck this box. The reason for that is, like I said, we're going to be creating one campaign per product. And the reason for that is, like I said, with this particular one type, with these product display ads, you can't optimize your bid on a per product level. So let me actually, I have a feeling some of you guys don't quite understand what I mean when I say that. So let me just pull one of these up. So this is one of the product display ads. If there was a whole bunch of products in here, like there's only one in here, but like on this page, even if there was a whole bunch, you can't like adjust your bids on this particular page. You can only adjust your overall bid. So I did like $2, which is way too high. The costs I've found for these are normally less than $1. But anyway, I put $2 for my cost per click in there. So I can't, like, it doesn't give me any insight which ASINs would be performing well, and it doesn't let me change my bid on an ASIN level. So that's the reason that even though it's a huge drag to create one of these per every ASIN, I really encourage you to do so. And the reason we want to uncheck this is Amazon, if we don't uncheck this, they're also going to be showing this particular ad on a whole bunch of these other products. And in order to really optimize these well, we want that control on how much we're spending on our bids for each of the particular ASINs. Okay, so uncheck that. Remember my naming convention. So we did product name. I'm just going to call it Snugs. The ad type here is, I'm going to call it competitor. But if you wanted, you could also call it like specific product or something. And then I'm also going to put their ASIN. So I'm going to paste that down there. My bid, we'll say $1 budget. And feel free to start with small budgets. You can always work your way up if you want. I'm going to run it continuously starting today. As far as my headline goes, what did I say? One of those that was performing well. The like your baby won't be able to stop smiling. As you can see there is a character limit, and depending on how many characters you have, the sales copy is a little bit smaller. So you can see the previews here. If I do something short, like just smiling baby, then you can see the text is a little bit bigger. So your baby won't be able to stop smiling. Brand name, I did some like testing to try to find some like hacks and stuff, and I tried to do some stuff for the brand name and the brand logo that was, I guess, like, it probably would have been like a little bit sketchy, but none of them got approved. But for brand name, I did stuff like highest rated brand, like I just put like highest rated as my brand, because it does in some of these ads, it shows up. So like right here, or not that one. Which one does it show up? like sponsored by highest rated. So I tried to do that to see if I could get it through, but it didn't work. I did get one through that I did like Jungle Snugs 100% for charity. This actually did go through, but I doubt it really matters. Like you saw, like most of these don't even have the brand written out. So we'll just keep it 100% legit and put Jungle Snugs, our real brand. This is kind of annoying. I have like some extra punctuation in my title. So every time I have to go through and delete it. Otherwise it won't let me submit it. So let me think. Let me just try these. Here's one. All right, so now let me submit it. I also tried some stuff for the brand logo. I tried to do like the 5-star thing. I tried to put like a bestseller badge on it, a whole bunch of stuff, but they all got denied. The only thing that I let through was the legit Jungle Snugs branded logo. So I'll save you some time there. You don't have to test that. They're pretty smart as far as that goes. But that is it. The main things with this are going to be you choose product, target specific products. Make sure to uncheck this box. That's very important. I would strongly encourage you to have like a standing operating procedure for your naming practices, or just copy mine. And yeah, so at that point, I just do submit campaign for review. And I'll get an email right now that says, hey, this has been submitted for review. And then normally about 24 hours, give or take a little bit of time. It says up to 72 hours, but I've never had them take that long. All right. So that is how you do the first type. That type, like we said, is the product specific, I think they call it. So let's do this one more time. We'll do another example real quick. That's just for a competitor's product. A complementary product. So let's find a complementary product.
Greg, they don't give you a shortcut to duplicate or do it in CSV?
You can't upload it CSV. Once a campaign has been approved, then you can copy it. So I can go in here. Whoops. I can go in here, and one that's already been approved, I can click copy, but it won't let me copy this one. So that is a little bit of a shortcut once you do that. So we could do product. Yeah, sure. We'll keep this pink one this time. So like with this like pink one in particular, I'd probably want to target like something that like a baby product for girls. So let's just find like baby girl bath something. Baby bather. Sure. You have one of these for Aya again? Or are you just holding your arms?
Honestly, we got one as a gift.
Oh, nice.
Use it for a few weeks and then
the same one?
Use it. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, really? That's funny.
I would give it 5 stars. It's better than 3.5.
You didn't have any problems with it?
No.
All right. Well, we're going after this person. It's really, I was kind of joking on you when I said that. That's funny. You actually have one. All right. So I chose that, and hold on, change this. I'd probably actually, instead of competitor here, you could do complementary. I'm going to put their ASIN. We'll just do $1. We'll say $10. I've never spent any of these budgets, even close to $10 normally. So now we need to be thinking about, since this is a complementary product, someone's on a listing, they're getting ready to buy this baby bather thing, and we want to upsell them to purchase the towel as well, right? So I'm just doing this on the fly here, but what can we tell people to encourage them to say that they should get one of these towels too? What do you think, Gen? You're a good copywriter. You have 40 characters or something, 50 characters. All right. No worries, Gen. I got this.
Oh, sorry. I was on mute, but all for the better.
All right. I'll do my headline as the softest towel after a nice bath. I don't know. Once again, annoying that I have to do this. For some reason, this doesn't save even when you duplicate campaigns. If I was creating a bunch of these, I would just copy and paste this, but good enough. All right, we can preview our ad, and it looks pretty good. Cool. Cool. Submit campaign for review. 24 to 40 hours or so, I'll hear back how it went. All right. So those would be two. Those would be like a competitor and a complementary product. Let's create another one. This time we'll do select our product again. White one. This time we'll target related categories. So it looks like they already chose this one for me, but I'm going to remove it. So these are all of the available categories to me. And now that I think about it, one difference between related categories and interests is it looks like, they're only giving us very similar products. Inside interests, we actually can choose between a whole bunch of stuff. We can advertise to dudes looking for monster trucks or something to buy these if we wanted. But we can go in here and if we wanted, we could create one campaign for each of these. Okay, so let's do, since we did one of those bather seats before, let's try non-slip mats. All right, so I'm gonna say snugs. Now we're doing interest. No, we are doing this category, and we did non-slip bath mats. So we'll put in there $1, $10. All right, brand name Jungle Snugs. Headline. All right, so these people, they're viewing products. They're viewing non-slip bath mats. So what type of thing could you tell these people? It's like, I don't know. Some of this stuff, for example, like if I'm selling a men's razor, or maybe I'm selling aftershave. Okay. So like on aftershave, if someone's purchasing a razor, like I could pretty easily write some sales copy for that, like after a good shave, get the best aftershave or whatever. You get the idea. So you just kind of have to think about this. It's going to be very specific for your particular products. So we're targeting people looking at non-slip bath mats. So let's just say, I'm just gonna do something goofy here, but our towels aren't slippery. This probably won't convert very well, but hey, we'll try it just for the fun of this example. So like I said, super annoying here, but it's only gonna take a second. Delete these little pipe. What are these called? Pipes? I think pipes.
Yeah, I think so.
Vertical pipes. Something like that. All right. Our towels aren't slippery. So the reason that, just like before, when I'm only choosing one ASIN, the reason I didn't select a bunch of these is because what you'll probably find like in a few weeks that non-slip bath mats is not converting well. Maybe it's just from my sales copy, or maybe this is like a crappy category to target, or maybe the bids are really high in that particular category. So we'll either want to decrease our bids in that or just turn the campaign off altogether. If I were to select all of these, like I said, it doesn't give me any it doesn't give me like click-through ratios or sales or anything for each of these particular categories. It only gives it to me for the entire campaign. That's why I only want to do one per campaign. Okay. So like I said, super annoying. It's tedious work. Feel free to outsource this to a VA or something. But this is, even though it takes longer to set up, this is definitely like the way to go about it. Okay. So we'll do one last one just as an example. This time we're going to do an interest. If you have your ASIN, you can of course just paste that in there, selecting this product. And before, when I had chosen product and then category, remember, it was only categories that were very similar to mine. Whereas right now, with interest, like I said, we can target all kinds of stuff. So what's going to be most relevant? Probably either trying to target babies, kids, or potentially parents. I imagine advertising this in the cell phone battery section is not going to convert very well. That would be very rare, but something like kids and baby, this stuff would be much more likely to convert well. So let's just choose, we'll do baby bedding, snugs, interest, and baby bedding is our identifier here. $10. The nicest towel to complement the nicest bedding.
I'm glad you're showing us this because I would have interpreted interest as based on their previous purchase behavior. So say a young mom who's bought a lot of baby stuff, but like shopping for horror movies might still get shown this ad, but apparently that's probably not the case.
I don't know if Amazon's been really transparent on how exactly they do that. But that could be the case again. Like, I don't know if it necessarily needs to be like relevant, like a product that's relevant for that today, or maybe in their past interests. To be completely honest, I don't know. I don't think that they've like specified that anywhere. Maybe in the follow-up blog post, we could look into that a little more.
Sure.
So yeah, this is, as you guys can see, you know, this starts to get pretty quick once you kind of know what you're doing and want to go through these. A few things I would keep in mind is if you're choosing a particular ASIN, make sure you uncheck that little box that's underneath of it. And as tedious as it is, I would really encourage one category, one interest, or one ASIN per campaign. So since we still have about 10 minutes left, I'm just going to show you what these kind of look like after they've been running. And mine haven't even really been running very long. So once they have been running, let's just say, just click this guy. So this particular one, this is the product that I'm advertising on. Let's actually see if it shows up. It may or may not show up when I go to Amazon, depending on whether I'm the highest bid and depending on however else they determine what to rotate through. So right now Pampers is showing up, but it's obvious that mine did show up at one point because I've had 63 impressions, 2 clicks. And this is pretty rare. I had two sales on 2 clicks, but that's definitely an outlier. So my CTR is pretty good. I'd say anything above like 2 or 3% is really good. Once you start to get not as relevant, you'll see those are like less than 1%. But compared to sponsored products inside the Seller Central platform, the click-through ratios are much higher with AMS ads. I think, you know, like when I look at some of my sponsored product reports, oftentimes off CTRs, you know, like 0.1%, whatever, 0.2%, whereas that's very high, but it's, you know, this is probably, again, a little bit of an outlier, but it's not common to have 2%, 1.5%, et cetera, with these AMS ads. So since I only have one product with this is going to be easy for me to tell, like in a month from now, whether or not I would want to continue this ad. All right. It's only at 63 impressions, so that's not really that many, but something like, yeah, go ahead.
To interrupt. On that previous page, what is a DPV? Is that like, oh, it was 6 before, right next to the CTR. The previous one was 6, so it had me thinking it was like the quality score, relevancy score that AdWords and Facebook have, but daily page views.
Detail page views. To be completely honest, with the product display ads, I'm not quite sure why this differs from the number of clicks. The only thing that I can assume is that one person will have clicked on your ad like multiple times, so they only charge you for 1 click. With the ads that we're going to be going over next week, I do know it's a little bit different because with those, there's like 3 products that you're advertising. So when they click on it, they'll go to a page that shows those 3 products. And then they don't always click on one of those 3 products, even though they've clicked on your ad. Does that make sense? But so for these, this CPC is super high. Normally mine haven't been that high. Looks like I'm in category washcloths and towels, which I guess must be kind of competitive right now. I have to laugh a little bit at some of the $1 million case study copycats, because it's like, guys, at least do something a little bit different from ours. I want you guys to learn the tactics so you can improve upon these yourself, not just do a direct copy of our product, but that's okay. So I guess what I was saying is, if I had multiple categories in here, I'm not able to adjust my bid like per category, right? I can pause it if I want, but I can't adjust it overall. So that's important. And then with the ASINs, they don't even give you specific clicks or CTR data with the ASINs. Actually, I think I did one. Let me try to find it real quick. As an example, if I show you this as an example, oh yeah, so this one was this would be interest, I think. And see, I selected all these interests, but I can't adjust the bid according, like on each one of those, or even I don't have any type of reporting to show me which one the CTR was the best or the ACOS was the lowest, or et cetera. So that's why it's really good to just have them one per campaign. So let me switch back to my slides. We have part 2, like I've been talking about a little bit, will be next week. So that's July 19th at the same time, 5 p. Pacific time, 8 p. Eastern time. And that's when we'll be going over the headline ads. Again, I'll give you examples and best practices on what to follow when creating those. Those are different because similar to sponsored products, it gives you the information. I guess it gives you the reporting and the functionality to be able to adjust those on like a per keyword basis. So it's a little bit different. I'm going to go over that with you guys next week. And if you're watching a replay, I would encourage you guys to register at junglescout.com/million to make sure that you get updates and notifications when we're doing those. So with that being said, what do you think, Gen? Should we do, we do have 5 minutes. If there are a couple of relative good questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Sure. I hope they're good questions because they're my questions. We didn't have many questions in the chat box. So I'm just curious if you've identified some of the more cost-effective methods, like if somebody's looking on a limited budget to start, how they might start as far as targeting.
Yeah, so if you're just trying to get started like on a limited budget, I would encourage you to set low bids and small like daily allowances. Okay, so the it's kind of hard to know because it's going to be very different on your particular like niche or industry or your interest or etc. Which ones are going to perform the best, be the cheapest, etc. But if I start, if I wanted to get started, I could set low daily bids for, so I could say like max budget, like $5, and I could set my bids to say like 50 cents. Okay. So you're not, and then I could create multiple campaigns with that particular mindset. So small bids, small daily budget. And then I could easily see, like if I'm getting impressions, even though my bids are only 50 cents and I'm getting like a low ACOS, then that'd be good. And that would be one you could scale up. So it'd be a little bit slower to collect the data you need to know like what the best is, but it'd be more conservative and you'd end up like wasting less money if you're going that route.
Great. And then just to clarify, this is similar to sponsored products in that there's like a 48-hour period bills are reported.
Say the last part one more time. Similar to sponsored products. What was the last part?
In that we generally want to wait 48 hours or so, 48 to 72 hours for.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. So that's why a lot of my like ACOS are probably like looked kind of high right now because some of those have only been running for like 4 days. So that means I've been paying for like 4 days worth of clicks, but only like 2 days worth of actual sales are being reported. So yeah, it has the same lag that sponsored products does.
Cool. And then similar to like what I was asking before, like does Amazon charge you more if there's like a total discrepancy as far as relevancy? Like for Facebook, for example, for AdWords, there's like a quality score where you pay less if it's a really well-targeted ad. Do you know if there's any correlation between relevancy and cost?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So I'm not 100% sure how like the Amazon bid auction works for these. So I don't want to like go into too much depth or give you misleading information. In my opinion, it seems like they won't charge you more if it's not relevant. They just won't give you the impressions if they think that it's like that doesn't work. I could be wrong about that though. Like, again, I don't think that they have like made public how like their particular ad auction works for AMS. That's just kind of like what it seems like to me. For like, I guess this is more relevant when I say that for the headline ads, because for those we're bidding for keywords. I think like instead of charging me more if I tried to bid for like glass cup, I don't think they would charge me more, or my bid would have to be higher. I just think they won't give me impressions for it.
Okay. Can you, like, if you're bidding on interests, can you see like the placements, for example, like where it actually showed up, like the type of product or the type of category?
No, it's really they're like the whole platform is very young, and you can tell. So like the reporting's pretty garbage. A lot of the, you know, like the fact that you can't like adjust on the ASIN level for those product display ads, that's pretty garbage if you ask me. So it's still a very like young platform, and it doesn't have that.
Okay. So here we have a couple questions from the audience. It is 9 o'clock. Maybe you can ask them. From Jamie Glick, which type of ad is shown to be the best ACoS so far?
For me, a couple of my headline ads have the best ACoS so far, but I just set these up like 10 days ago, so we don't have a whole lot of information yet. Like I could probably do an update like a month or 2 months from now to like give you some really good information, like which headlines in particular perform the best. Because like with one of my ads right now, if it has like 5 sales, it's kind of like, you know, even though 5 sales isn't that many, it can be like, it'll tell me my ACoS is like 7%, but it's like over time, is that going to be true? Or were those like fluke sales? So, but right now the headline ads appear to be a little bit cheaper for ACoS than product display ads.
Well, that's as good a segue as I can imagine, because next week we're going to be covering that.
That's right. So with that being said, guys, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. We're 1 minute past the hour. I hope you enjoyed this session. We're gonna be doing this at the same time next week. $1 Million Case Study Wednesday at 5 p. Pacific time or 8 p. Eastern time. If you haven't subscribed or liked us on YouTube yet, we would really appreciate it if you would do so. And if you're watching replay and you haven't signed up, you can do so at junglescout.com/million. And again, thanks for joining, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.